Hello and welcome to another episode of Football Corner Pod, wherein we talk about all things football. I'm Hari Keshav, and today we have with us a friend of the channel, an Indian football expert, and a fantastic football content creator, Musa Bhai. Welcome to the pod again.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for inviting me again and giving me a platform where I can meet a different kind of fans also who love European football, which also we have on our channel. But still, you need to tap into the all kind of fans so that they get related to Indian football also. And I'm pretty sure that you have been doing content, I think, a while right now. Last, like you mentioned, we did content in January, and now again we are trying to do something new. And also in maybe in the future we'll be doing this again and again, so that we keep on talking about certain things and also to push that Indian football narrative, which I always say on every channel, by the way, which I go in.
Absolutely. Since January, the constant question I've been getting from all of my viewers is when is Musa Bhai coming back on the pod? That is a testament as to how well that episode was received because, as you said, in our channel, we are constantly talking about Premier League and European football, but there was so much insight which you gave regarding Indian football, and I thought every once in a while we should have this episode to see where we are with Indian football and also to propagate the Indian football narrative as well. And viewers, just so that you know how Musaba has been doing in January, when I first had him on the pod, he was at 30,000 subscribers, and now doing pure content on Indian football, live streams, reactions, giving his heart out to the channel. He's at 44,000 subscribers, which is a fantastic achievement, Musabai. We are very, very happy to see you grow, and we can't
Thank you
wait to
so much,
see where
man.
you go from here as well.
Thank you so much. I think it's not only Indian content. I think we also moved to the South Asian content where we got some
Oh, okay.
good reaction. Yeah, from Nepal, from Bangladesh, because the Nepali women's team is growing. Bangladesh football team got into the origin player scenario right now, and also the women's team
Okay.
is doing well. Also, they qualified for the Women's AFC Asian Cup for the first time in their history. So I think that's where the subscribers came in, and also India qualified. So whenever, like, India is a place when some good things are happening, I'll be very honest with you. Suddenly, we'll see a lot of people want to research about it. People want to get to know about it. Okay, Indian football space, maybe the team is growing, India is growing, stuff like that. When the Indian team is winning, of course, yes, everyone would love to join you, try to get a reaction out of you, try to the tactical analysis that what exactly went down in the match and stuff like that. So I think it's really important and it's correlated to the team performing well. Like now, if you're talking about certain things, take Barcelona, take PSG and stuff like that. Now there was a time no one wanted to talk about PSG. Now PSG
True.
started winning and everyone wants to talk about PSG, and the viewers also are very intrigued by, okay, how did PSG do that? Those are the questions. Those are the questions which I answer in India, especially regarding Indian football, Bangladesh football, Nepal football. Now, like I said, I have gone to the South Asian circuit right now, where we have an academy in Nepal right now. We have an academy in Bangladesh right now. We have been
Amazing.
collaborating with the academy and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, the support is great. And we have friends like you who always try to support us in every way they can. So that's great, man. That's great.
By whatever we are doing is a very small thing. What you are giving back to Indian football, trying to provide knowledge, not just knowledge, but awareness as to how we can do our bit in moving Indian football and more
That's
importantly, South Asian football forward. It's a great thing that you're doing, and viewers, most of our viewers also already follow you and subscribe to you by. But if there is anyone who is not already doing that, please go show him all your love and support. As I can only say, some fantastic content, some of the things you've never even heard of. And yeah, all his socials are in the links in the description. So please feel free, go show him your love.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Brilliant. So let's dive into the episode by today. We have lots to speak about because, as I said, we have lots to catch up about. So we will start on the bright note of Indian football, which is the women's national team's impressive qualification for the AFC Women's Asian Cup. Which has been some leading light, you can say, in some dark times for Indian football. Then we would also talk about quickly on the under 20 women's team who recently beat Uzbekistan. That's again something that was really great. Then we have to unfortunately come back to the men's team where there is a
Stuff
big
going
big
on, man.
drop in the exactly big drop in the FIFA rankings, bad World Cup qualifiers, Then you have to talk about Kalyan Chaubey, the new Indian coach, and then if there is time, we will also sneak in the ISL suspension. So lots to unpack here. So let's buckle up and then give our viewers everything regarding this. So let's start with the Indian women's team qualifying for the AFC Asian Cup. By I was in your stream, and I have to say I was watching the match, but go to see you go through all of that emotional roller coaster. Take
Man,
us through
because
what it means for
wallahi,
Indian football. By
seriously, I'll be very honest with you. I'm really so when I started making content, I was not that attached. I was like, okay, this is India. Okay, we need to talk about them because we have got European football content creators. No one talks about
yeah,
Indian stuff like that. I started as a European content creator also. I used to talk about Man United and stuff like that. Like I have already told you, right? Then a time came when the Indian football suddenly started growing when we started making content, and that was very good. Like we started making content, the Indian football slowly got up and everyone wanted to
yeah,
know about Indian football. Then came 2024, man. Like seriously, the worst year of
yes,
making content for me, especially even though I was getting views and stuff, but I was not really happy. I was really not happy. I know there was a time in 2025 when the team got out of the AFC Asian Cup. Still, I had hope, but when the World Cup qualifiers happened, I lost all the hope, man. I was like, seriously, I was thinking about should I make more content or should I go to the academy stuff and academy oriented content because I was like drained watching this
yeah,
team play for real.
yes,
It was such me draining emotionally also and physically also. Then women's football suddenly came, and women's football, I mathematically, if you could see the women's football, there's an easy chance to qualify for the World Cup. Then,
true,
but again, when we are seeing the women's football also, they are not doing that great. I'm like, let's put on a bit of more content. Let's see what happens in the future and
yeah,
stuff like that. Then slowly the content started growing because like I said, I shifted to the South Asian circuit also. People again started questioning, again the love for the game grew back. I was like, kuch bhi ho jaye, we will talk about Indian football, we talk about the South Asian football and stuff like that. It kept me going. Then came a phrase when the Indian team was having that qualifying campaign. I still remember they Mongolia 13-0 in the first match,
yes,
Timor Leste 4-0 in the second match, and then came the Iraq match, which again, it was obvious that we could have easily beaten these teams. But then came Thailand. Now Thailand is a World Cup playing team. They had qualified for the 2022 World Cup, and after that, I think they didn't or something. No, I think 2019 World Cup. But just to get in a context, they are a World Cup playing team. I don't remember
yes,
which year they qualified back to back. But again, India against Thailand, it's a suicide game, I know.
yeah,
But I just wanted to feel ki, nahi, I have that a bit of positiveness in me. Let's do a watch along of this match and let's enjoy whatever happens. Let's just enjoy. Man, that goal, when she scored that second goal, the first goal
yeah,
was a kind of exciting, yes. That was a beautiful goal, a long
yes,
ranger. Then
yeah,
came a very stupid, we considered very stupidly.
true,
Then in the dying minute, I still remember the time, it was 82nd minute.
yes,
Oh man, that goal just gave me a bundle of joy. It's still back of my mind, the celebration, and after the full time, the tears in my eyes, man, it was
yeah,
emotional. I think it all came up, the emotions which I had for the men's team, the
yeah,
emotion for football especially, it came out suddenly. But I couldn't sit in front of the screen, I had to move out,
yeah,
wipe my tears and stuff like that and come back because I want to be a guy who is professional in front of a screen. But again, I couldn't hold myself, man. That was
yeah,
beautiful. Can't I can never forget that. I can never forget that. So, yeah, it was beautiful, man. It was really beautiful. And that game, 2-1 against Thailand, that's one of the best games I have watched.
yeah,
If I'm being very honest, even though we were bad in the few phases, but we can at least I have hope that we can build on that. I have hope that we can build on that.
nice,
Yeah. You need to have that. ऐसा नहीं कि भाई बस like you are just adding numbers and
true,
okay, India played the qualification, we are out. Okay, now we played, we were great, we were very good. We never gave up until the ending moments. So that's what I wanted. And there are lots of girls, fine girls who are doing fine job. I'm really happy. And yeah, let's hope for the best in the AFC Asian
yeah,
Cup because yeah, we need to be in the top six, I guess, to qualify for the World Cup. So yeah.
yes. Looking forward to that. By but just to say, all of that emotion is really well deserved because we are qualifying for that after 22 years, and I think 23 years based on merit. So it's been a very long time. And also that Sangeeta Basfore goal that you were talking about was
Oh,
just brilliant. Just in the
yo,
stream
man.
itself, you not just I was watching the match, like I was putting it on half screen and watching it along with you. It was the
Ah,
best experience. It was really was something else.
man. No, no,
And more
I'll never
importantly,
forget that. I'll never
exactly, and
forget that.
more important, beating Thailand in Thailand, that is
Yeah,
something else. And that
exactly.
it was amazing, right? It was
Yeah,
something
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
exceptional.
this girls deserved everything, man. Like the coach talking about Crispin Chetri, her assistant Priya PV, they have done a fine job, a tremendous job, and also they are getting now a long training camps, which is really, I'm really happy for that, because they have
Nice.
been emphasizing on that to improve that tactical clarity and stuff like that. That's really important. And on that, you remember back in the Hong Kong game, the men's Hong Kong
Yeah,
game, they had announced that
yeah,
50,000 USD prize for the men's. Indian football followers, Indian football lovers started tweeting that give that
yeah.
money to the women's team, because I
True,
know that AFF was not in that idea, but
true.
after seeing the tweet, after seeing the push from the Indian fans, they did give that $50,000 to the
Oh,
women's team because they deserved it. Yeah, they
nice.
deserve every inch of it, man.
Amazing. That's really good news. Let's not just the women, but the girls as well. The Indian women's under 20 beating Uzbekistan 4-1 again, not at home, but in Tashkent, Uzbekistan.
Exactly.
What is happening with women's football? Suddenly we are getting this push. Looks like there's also not just progress in the senior team, but the youth setup is good. I think there was a lot of talk about the coach Joachim Alexander's son as well. I think he's
Yeah,
done a
yeah.
fantastic job. Do you see that this is a one-off result, or do you see now that we can really build based on this, and Indian women's football is in a good shape, Musa Bhai?
See, if I'm being very honest, when back in 2024, there was this SAF championship where we
Mhm.
lost against Bangladesh. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then Joking came in. But again,
yeah.
Joking has no experience, like the big
Mm.
experience guys. He is not that. So I was skeptic, ki, bhai, will he do a good job with this team and stuff like that? But even though we didn't watch because it was a closed door friendly. In the first
Yeah.
match, also, we drew against Uzbekistan. Again, we
Yes.
do that.
1-1.
Against Uzbekistan, we have been holding games 1-1, but losing 0-1. Close games against Uzbekistan, always there. But winning 4-1 is something new. I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
Winning 4-1, and that too in a fashion, especially playing away, having that a different kind of atmosphere, a challenging atmosphere. So that's something I'm really looking forward, and I really want this team to build upon that, because we have got these qualifiers again. There is a
Yes.
qualifier coming up, I think, in August. So that's
Yes.
really important. Now, this woman, I'll tell you one thing: what the woman team and the men's team is doing different. I think women
Mm.
team shows a lot of hunger on the pitch. If you look back again to the match against Thailand, you will see a lot of, even though the pace of the game and stuff like that, you can point out a lot of things, but there are certain things which you can say this player or that player didn't give up until the last moment. They were running
Nice.
for their life, even though the legs were gone and stuff.
Mm.
They
Yeah.
tried, they tried, and they tried. But when you watch the men's team, you will say, okay, the pace is there, but you're not seeing the same kind of hunger. So that's the difference, I would say. I always say it's, yeah, before the match, it's on coach, how he sets up. But in the match, it's on the players and the hunger they have. Sometimes there is the story of David Goliath and stuff like that. We have seen
Yeah.
underdog story again and
Mm.
again.
Mm.
Why that happens? Because it's the player giving the 100% on the pitch. It doesn't happen always, but there are few days which that proves that these stories are real and stuff like that. So I think the
True.
Indian women's team are working hard, and they are pushing their limits and stuff like that, and that's why the results are coming in. And I really hope that in future also, in the under 20 qualifiers also, because we are talking about the under 20 qualifiers, we will see these girls doing a fine job, and I feel
Really.
that we can qualify from this group. And because see, we didn't qualify for the under 17, we didn't qualify for the under 23s, under 20s. Now men's are on the brink of not qualifying also. So, but the women's, at least they are trying something, and I just really hope that they do. At least
Brilliant, brilliant.
the women's team, the senior did. I want the under 20 also to qualify, so that
Yeah.
at least we'll have something to cheer about.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you rightly pointed it out, Sabai. It's not always about the talent because when you look at
Yeah,
this, some countries, like for example, Thailand and Uzbekistan, are far along the road and they are more highly ranked. But sometimes on the day, all it takes is that hunger to win
exactly.
at all costs. And I think
Mm.
that has been very pleasantly, we've been surprised, I have to say, and may long
Yeah.
this continue. But let's now come from the bright side to the shadows, Musabai, which is unfortunately the men's football team. The latest FIFA rankings are out, 133 now. It's probably the lowest since quite a long time, probably a decade, you can say. We had a very horrible FIFA World Cup qualifying that led to Manolo Marquez also leaving. And after that, we also spoke about the last game with Hong Kong, where the 50,000 was said. And then after the game, Kalyan Chaubey comes, and we are waiting for this press conference in bated breath to see what big changes he's probably going to bring to the grassroots football in India, how he's going to solve this big issue of us not getting goals. And all he comes up with is a striker crash course, Musabai. What is happening with Indian football? This is something that comes out of a comic book, you can say, almost.
Seriously, if I'm being very honest, what happened with the Indian national team, it was very evident after I think the matches we played again, even that Maldives game, which is the only game we won in the era of Manuel Marcus. Even in that game, we were shit, we were bad. And even after that, if you look at so many games, we were just doing okay. But yeah, one thing I was certain that passing was good and stuff like that. So I was thinking, yeah, surely they can build on this. But then I forgot one thing, that these are Indian players who are playing in ISL and they are again and again saved by the foreigners. Simple as that. And they don't know where the goal is and stuff. And they need there are lots of things right now in politics involved, player power involved in selection. Certain agents want their players to get selected. If they don't get selected, so there are CEOs involved of Indian Super League clubs and stuff like that. So difficult to judge exactly what kind of team Indian football is right now. And from here, the future for Indian football looks really dark. Because I'll tell you one thing, like you mentioned about Kalyan Chobe and stuff like that. Kalyan Chobe, from the day first, I think he has just fake promising. Always he has
Yeah,
done that things. Even though I would say, okay, your promise are fake, but at least when you're talking 100 things, at least if you could have done only 5 to 10 things, Indian football would have been in a better place. So yeah. Now, talking about the Indian national team, for the Indian national team, you can't give always camps and stuff like that. But you can prepare a under 23 team without the ISL players, because see, the clubs have paid for the player, they are in contract, so they will not let them go. It's their right because they are in contract and stuff like that. But
true.
you can create a pathway for other players. Yeah, you can
Absolutely.
train them in the I League, but again they say we don't have funds. Okay, I get it, but what about the I League 2? What about the other things like state football and stuff like that? Why are you not stressing on them? Why are you not making a team playing hybrid friendlies with the club? Make a India A, India B, India C, or something like that. Try to innovate things. Try to take ideas from FIFA. Always you're going to FIFA for the alms. Always you're going for FIFA to ask when we are getting money from you and stuff like that.
True.
But did you go to FIFA and ask, give us ideas how to implement certain stuff? FIFA Academy in Bhubaneswar. Now there was a big scam going on there. It's one of the best academies. They have got the elite coaches and stuff like that. But again, when the selection process was done, there were kids who were more than 20, 21 years when the selection was only for 117. So who is pushing the narrative? Who will check the bone testing and stuff like that? It should be AIFF camps, because they are setting up the FIFA Elite Academy. So FIFA is just sending the coaches. They will not sit and see your Aadhaar card. Haribai is certain age and stuff like that. No, they won't do it.
True.
It's the AFF job. So what did AFF do? Nothing. They are sending their babus who are just going there, taking up the government salary. They are enjoying, and the government job in India, how good it is. If you are in
Yeah,
a government job, you are just going to enjoy the perks and stuff like that. So
true.
yeah, there are lots of, if you sit and talk about Indian football, especially the All India Football Federation, the whole podcast will be about them. But talking
True.
about the other things like we also talk about the Indian Super League being on hold. It's also a blunder done by All India Football Federation. Haribhai,
Yeah.
when you know your contract is going to expire next year, of course you will go and talk to your company that are you extending me, or what's
Yes.
the, how we will, what are the pathways and stuff like that.
Correct.
Now we all know that the MRA, which is the Master Rights Agreement, is going to expire in
Correct.
the 2020 December. We need to talk about it in the 2023 December, because before
Yes.
2 years we start planning, we can come
Yeah.
to a conclusion in 2025 January. The
Correct.
talk started in 2024, I think October or September somewhere. Okay, dragged and dragged. The High Court came in, they put a stall on it. Now, how you expect a franchise like FSGL to start the Indian Super League and then block it off in the December? They won't do that. They want certainties, and of course, yes, because they have invested a lot of money, they would want some business back also. So
True.
what have All India Football Federation given to them? Have they done anything for football? No. See, the thing is, now there are lots of fans who really think that it's not only All India Football Federation, FSJ and stuff like that. But I feel that when someone is commercializing football, they are there for the commercializing, only for the business. They are there only for the business.
Correct.
They will give you eyes, they will give you the facilities, they will give you all the social media stuff like that. But
True.
to grow football, you need to have certain rules which should be
Yeah.
implemented by the All India Football Federation.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Now, All India Football Federation has not done their basic things. So now you could clearly see the house of cards has fallen. That's it. And I
It's a
don't think so
very
there is a rejuvenation or reincarnation for Indian football. If there is, it will take a lot of hard work.
It's a very sad state of affairs, as you can say. I don't know whether it was the people sitting in the big positions not moving things or not foreseeing, but how they cannot already start to extend the master deals, right? 2 years in advance is something beyond me. And when already Indian football is in a decline, your top tier league is now on a standstill, which is very disheartening, Musabai. But the only way in which we could get more eyes into Indian football and also make talent IDs, because we don't do that as AIFF, was ISL. And now we are not going to have it at the moment. I really hope things pan out, but at the moment. So, how do you think AIFF is going to solve this, or do you think only the I League is enough? What needs to happen, Musabai, if we do not have the ISL?
See, I League is not enough in my opinion, because I League is
Yes.
managed by All India Football Federation, and I don't know if you know that I League had multiple winners this year. So
I know.
yeah,
It was crazy. Inter
so
Kashi was now the
yeah, and I think they deserved it. To be honest, they
yeah.
deserved it. Okay, but again, it's sad that Churchill Brothers players and coach. It's sad on their part also that, but still, so there is no clarity in I League. There is no clarity because it's managed by All India Football Federation. They don't know the proper rules and stuff like that. Someone goes to CAS with the proper strong proofs, the league is given. That's the scenario with the AFF managed league, right? So I don't think so AFF can manage the top tier of Indian football, or they can manage the Indian football. See, talking about the talent ID and stuff like that, like I said, dark days are coming for Indian football. There is a lot of which I can't say on live or in a video. There are lots of stuff which will be out there in the open very soon.
Hmm.
A lot of corruption, a lot of things which again a normal Indian football fan would not know, because he thinks that All India Football Federation, they run the football and stuff like that, which is not the case. Yeah.
Hmm.
And also the state FAs, they don't listen to All India Football Federation, because the state FAs had a lot of power. If
Hmm.
you want to get elected, you need to listen to the state FAs. So
Hmm.
when this type of things are happening, it's obvious that football will decline, right? And women's football and men's football is two different things. Women's football is easy to have a proper strategic position, to strategize, to plan something, and it will work out in a fine way. But men's football is too complicated, because of vast number the talent IDs, vast number of changes, physical, a lot of tactical changes and stuff. So I think in India, women's football can go to a height, but men's football currently, We are sitting in 2025. From here, I'm not seeing anything. Maybe in next 2 years it might change with the laws changing and stuff like that, with the OCIs and POIs stuff. But with the current men's team, I don't think so. No, with this men's team, any coach would, it won't happen. If you bring Pep
Yeah,
Guardiola, give him the team for the 1 year also, I would know this team would do not do any shit, and this team would lose to the worst team in Europe. I would say they will.
yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure of it.
yeah. Very unfortunate, and also a brilliant segue into what I was going to ask next, Sabai. When you are looking for a coach for the national team or any club, you want everything to be, settled, and then you can market your team, and then it might seem very attractive for coaches to come in. Amidst all of this mess, the Indian men's football team needs a coach, and there is a lot of people applying, and one of the names was also Khalid Jamil, who is really not just a very well-known coach in the ISL circuit, but he's a two-time AIFF Coach of the Year and also an I-League winner himself. So amongst all of the candidates, Sabai, whoever is there, who do you think could, in these scenario, take Indian football probably to the next level? Do you see it as a one or two step coach process, or do you think there is one man now who can take us to the next level already?
I think there is one guy, like Khalid Jamil.
Mhm.
I'm the kind of, I don't know, but he's a good coach. He's a good coach. He knows
Yes.
the inside out of how Indian football works and stuff like that. But I don't know that he be given the power to change the whole Indian narrative and stuff like that.
Mm.
But I feel there is a guy. I know it will be a very unpopular opinion, but Stephen Constantine. He has done it
Mhm.
twice. He can do it thrice. I still
Okay.
feel that guy has that in him. And also, there were rumors in middle that he has promised if he gets the Indian job, he will make sure that Indian team qualifies for the AFC Asian Cup. So that's
Wow.
a huge statement to give. And for that statement to be a reality, he has to do a massive job. He has to change the whole team. So I don't know how he will do that, because there is a lot of nexus going on, like I said, in the selection and stuff like that. Can he shake it up? And I really want that. I really want a
Mm.
guy who will come take the command. Even though if we don't qualify, we need to change the system of the team, how it's running right now. At least we need to fight, because in the first two match I thought that we give a fight, not against Bangladesh, not against Hong Kong we were total shit. So I feel that if Stephen Constantine comes, there might be a chance. With Khalid Jamil, I'm a bit of skeptic. Can he do the job? Because he has done brilliantly with Jamshedpur. Again, let's not
Jamshedpur.
forget, Jamshedpur had foreigners. Let's not forget
Yes,
that.
true.
And that's the
True.
problem with the Indian Super League coach. They have the help with of the foreigners. Yeah, it's so difficult for me to judge Khalid Jamil. I'm a big fan of him. I love him. But again, I feel that Stephen can do a better job. Yeah.
Brilliant. And one of the main things as a coach, probably for the Indian national team, is to solve this goals issue, won't you say? Because even during the FIFA World Cup qualifiers, we had to call back a retired Sunil Chetri to come into this team, and still that wasn't enough. Obviously, we all know how good he can be on his day, but it's a bit too late to do that. So there is no planning. So without ISL and now only with the I League, I don't see where we can solve this goals issue. Only solution to this that I can see is the foreigners, the PIO, a thing that we've
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
talked about. But where are we in this process? Do you think there is some movement in this?
See, changing the law, like we have this monsoon session coming up, right? So in
Yes.
that it will be tabled and stuff. So we have to wait for confirmation from the officials and stuff like that. There are people who are saying the list is ready. We are ready to, go and talk with the PIOs and OCIs once the government says okay. So it all depends on the government, how the government reacts on the issue and stuff like that. Even the sports minister Mansukh also has said that they are looking into the matter and stuff. So let's see, can they help Indian football? But if they get the nod from the Indian government, our, our path will be easy. The qualification process will be easy, because we'll be getting more players who are creative, who are good defensively, who are attacking threats are really talked about in the whole footballing scenario, not only just Indian football. So yeah, it can be a great boost if we get the OCIs and stuff. But also, let's not forget, we can't rely on OCIs until and unless there is some reality in that. Okay, now we have got news, we have got everything, but we have to wait. It will be a long process. It won't be overnight done, because the bill will be tabled, it will be transferred to MEA, it will be transferred to FFRR. There are lots of parties involved, visas, the documents and stuff like that. So it might take at
Correct.
least a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who will score
True.
goals for Indian football? And so I think there are few answers. There are few
Mhm.
answers. It's not that we don't have goal scorers. I take an example. We have got David. We have got Suhail Bhatt. So yeah, surely, man. I think we do have answers, but we need a right coach who have that gut, who got that ball of steels, that he will bring in that striker. He will say, "Go and play. Forget about
Yeah.
everyone." We
Yeah.
need that kind of an approach when we are building a strong team. Because, anyways, Indian football is down the gutter right now. We need, if you want to come out, you need to take those chances. You need to get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
If I'm being very real, I would really want Stephen Constantine to come back, and he has that guts to prove things wrong and stuff. Yeah, so he can do the job.
Brilliant, Musa Bhai. As always, we're not talking right now in a very pleasant mood. That's why I started the podcast and on a high note, and now I went into the serious and more thought-provoking questions. But I think we are also totally unsure as to how Indian football, at least the men's football, is going to move forward. And yes, we probably do not have the answers as of now, but we will surely have you from time to time to talk about these, because whenever things are unsure, whenever things are unclear, we have to talk about it more. And that is
Exactly.
when probably there is a light at the end of the tunnel and we are asking those uncomfortable questions. And it's
Yeah.
also during this time when, it's a bit unclear and you have so many worries, it's always nice to talk to another person who understands all of this as well.
Yeah.
As
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, that's why I always encourage people to talk about Indian football, because we have very less people who in the Indian football circuit right now, and I'm liking it that we have got like few people who are really interested, and they come to my email, they come to my Instagram DMs and stuff like that. I say you start first, okay? I just don't
yes.
want you to sit on my shoulder and start the thing. I want people to recognize you for what you are. Then we can collaborate. Then we can talk about in certain things and stuff like that. I don't want to be that guy who is trying to launch everyone in the Indian football circuit. Now, you need to start. I'll help you out with everything. Yeah. So that I'm trying to build a community where, again, like people like you are really needed, that to talk about certain things, to talk the tough questions, to talk about things which are forgotten, so that people memories get refreshed. So again, Hariba, thank you so much for inviting me on this brilliant podcast, man. And again, it's always fun to come and talk about Indian football, even if it's negative and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Musaba. As I said, you've taken it upon yourself to be a torchbearer, to ask the difficult questions, to present the views, and you are in some ways a sum total of all of us on how we feel about Indian football. Nobody has told you to take this responsibility, but you are doing so yourself, and we're very proud of you. And we can't wait to see how far you go. And we are all there in this journey together with you, and we'll have our support as well to talk about Indian football. Not more than that, you're making your inroads into South Asian football as well. And we can't tell you how happy we are to see you grow and talk about new markets, South Asian football as a whole. So thank you so much, Musa Bhai, for coming on the pod. As I always, it's always a pleasure to have you on the pod, never a chore. You will find Musa Bhai's socials in the descriptions of the video below. So please go check that out. And as always, please do subscribe to our content as well on Football Corner Pod. The love and support that the subscribers and the viewers you guys show to us allows us to bring guests like Musa Bhai on the channel to talk about Indian football, to ask the difficult questions. So please keep your support going as well. And as always, please stay safe, take care, and be aware of any corners taken quickly. See you. Bye.
See you. Bye bye.